Introduction to complex number. Complex number, which is make it complex because they have a real and imaginary part. So how do I know that it's real or imaginary? That will have to go bring us back to quadratics. Long time ago, if you were given something like this, and you were asked to solve this equation, so what we will have is like x squared equals to -4, and usually we stop because you say that negative number could not be squared. Since we are pretty professional now, we are growing up now, so we are going to introduce something plus or minus, continue to work with it, and proudly presented introducing you to -1 equals square root -1 is I. I is imaginary number because this does not exist. This only exists for the math people to make things work. So if this is the case, now we could make this work by plus or minus square root 4 times I. Some books use J, but it really depends. And then we have plus or minus 2I. That is -1, sorry. -1, and plus or minus 2I will be the answer. I is imaginary. It's not happening. We just put it there. So we have to multiply that by I to get the number. So from now on, if you have a quadratics and there is no negative roots there, or discriminant is a negative number, we will have it as an imaginary roots. They have the roots, but they do not have it there. They have there, but it's not real. Here's another example. So we have x cubed plus 3x equals to 0. Again, we're going to solve it by taking out the common factor. So we have x squared plus 3 equals to 0. So x equals to 0, or x squared plus 3 equals to 0. This side we will leave it as it is. It's done. So we have x squared equals to -3. X equals to plus or minus square root -3, which is plus or minus root 3I. And that is how we manipulate with the imaginary number to make things real. And yes, previously we talked about that. So if, for example, there's an imaginary number, we have -3 plus 4I. This is the real part, this is the imaginary part. Because this contains the I. Every number can be represented into a complex number. Just for sometimes we have an imaginary part. Sometimes we don't. And this is the introduction of complex number.